What's up, you guys? It's Josh here on Wednesday, August 5th. Let's get into your stimulus check and stimulus package update. I do have a small favor to ask you guys, though. If you don't know what's going on in Lebanon right now, it's a very sad situation. Not only are they trying to deal with the public health crisis, but also the entire country is in an economic collapse. Their currency is almost worth half of what it was before. There's a massive shortage in basically food and basic supplies. Yesterday, they experienced a massive explosion there, and really the government cannot even provide the basic services that you and I have. For example, policemen, ambulances, basic running water and electricity. The electric grids are not great there. They're experiencing, a worst case scenario. So I'm asking you guys, if you have time, to donate to a charity that will get them money. I know the Red Cross is there, so I'm probably going to end up donating a few dollars to the Red Cross. Just wanted to throw that out there. I feel so bad for them. I know some of the Syrian refugees actually went to Lebanon after they were basically forced out of Syria. So it's really sad to see these people who already were forced from their home trying to seek safety and basic human rights and supplies be forced out of their home again in another country. All right, so let's get into your stimulus check and stimulus package update. With that being said, know that Senator Mitch McConnell has actually kind of stepped down from the negotiations. He's no longer involved in the negotiations. Secretary Steven Mnuchin and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows are now producing any sort of conversation with the Democratic leaders. They're meeting day in, day out, and they're trying to figure out about a deal. Yesterday, we heard that both parties had agreed to maybe a deal by Friday, which would then be voted on by next week. We've also heard from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who has taken a step down from any negotiations, and he is willing to support whatever the White House comes up with and agrees to with the Democratic leaders. Now, that is very entertaining, quite honestly, because Senator Mitch McConnell is basically the person who controls what bills are heard on the Senate floor and kind of what happens. And we really underestimate the power that he has, because he can control anything that he wants to, and it's really weird to see him take a step down. Now, this is because the Republican Party is not united whatsoever. He actually stated that yesterday and was quoted saying that there was a lot of issues where the Republicans were not united. There is a not insignificant amount of Democrats in the Senate who would also need to support a bill, and they're probably going to try to get it through, just with the minimum vote. We've heard from a lot of Republicans, they don't want any stimulus at all, which is very concerning considering we're in the worst economic situation that we could possibly be in besides the Great Depression, with unemployment levels super high. More people are expected to go on unemployment, as we've heard from several companies that their PPP money and their economic stimulus money is actually running out or will run out very soon at the end of September, especially for the airlines. Now, there's still a lot of very significant issues. I do want to express that they said that they hope to have a bill by Friday, but apparently they're still very far apart. The total cost of the package is very highly debated. Both sides are having to give in and come to a consensus about, the people need money and we have to get it out to them as quickly as possible. Secretary Steven Mnuchin actually said that as soon as the bill is signed into law, he can get checks out to people within a week. So that is exciting news, because those checks are coming out and will hopefully allow people to pay their rent, utility bills, for food, things like that, as people are facing a mass eviction crisis. Now, if something doesn't happen by Friday, we've heard from President Donald Trump. He is prepared to take some sort of executive action to maybe do a payroll tax cut, something along those lines. Now, it is very unclear whether he actually has the power to do that or not. It's also very unclear as to how that would work. I know I've read several articles where just because these taxes are delayed doesn't mean that you actually don't owe them. So there needs to be some sort of congressional action still that would actually forgive them. The president only has the opportunity to delay them. Now, that wouldn't help people as of the end of this year, because they would still owe those taxes, and it would really be really messy in order to go back and get those taxes. So let's Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope there's a deal reached by this Friday so that we can move forward with life and get the economy stimulated again. Now, for the total cost of the package, we've heard from Secretary Steven Mnuchin. He can be quoted saying we're not going anything close to 3.4 trillion, but we know that the $1 trillion bill, the HEROES Act, was 3.1 that the Democrats introduced in June. But the HEALS Act, which was introduced by the Republicans just a couple of weeks ago, was around 1.3 trillion. Now, we know that's not enough. That's simply not enough due to the fact of the magnitude that we need. People need money for schools. People need money for workplaces. We're going to see an extension of the PPP program. If companies had a 50% reduction in revenues, we also need direct economic stimulus payments out to consumers. And we also have to do something about the unemployment. I know everybody's focused on the unemployment because right now we have a record number of Americans that are not working. With that being said, I have heard the $400 per week number floated around. We know that this was at $600, but that is better than what was in the HEALS Act, where Republicans were offering like $200 a week, which would equate to about somebody getting 70% of their salary. With that, the Democrats hit back strongly and said that's simply not enough. Regardless of what happens, we do know that the Senate and the House are expected to take a recess on Friday. We've heard from Speaker Nancy Pelosi. She said that she would actually go ahead and extend that. They're not going to take a recess. I really think that if a deal is reached by Friday, then we will also see the Senate do the same thing. This looks really bad for all politicians right now who are going back to their home districts to campaign or just be in their home districts and really speak to their constituents if they're not doing anything and they're coming home empty-handed. All right, you guys, that's your stimulus check and stimulus package update for today. Please remember to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys for another update very soon.